Echoes in the Glass, A Tale of Timeless Captivity. Chapter 1. The Enchanted Mirror. Once upon a time, when the world was young and magic breathed through every leaf and stone, there lived a maiden named Lysandra. Her beauty was not of this world, enchanting and radiant, a song that pulsed with the rhythm of the universe. It was said that the stars had woven themselves into her hair, and the moon had gifted her a smile of iridescent grace. The gods, struck by her beauty, but also filled with a strange jealousy, cast an irrevocable spell, transforming Lysandra into a living reflection, a captive in an exquisite mirror. Silver, luminous, and timeless, the mirror held her like a jewel, a bewitching echo of what she once was, a radiant being reduced to an image, forever gazing upon a world she could no longer touch. Yet within this gleaming prison, she was not wholly lost. Trapped, yes, but also conscious, sentient, alive in her glassy realm, the mirror not just her cage, but her medium to the world. She could see, she could hear, and in a way, she could feel the pulse of life that unfolded in front of her. It was a life reflected in shards of silver and echoes of light, distorted yet achingly real. And so began her timeless captivity, a beautiful spectacle forever caught in a dance of reflected light and shadows. The spell was a test, a game played by capricious gods to see if human vanity could transcend itself to perceive the soul trapped behind the reflective facade. In her silvery confinement, Lysandra waited, her fate now entwined with the follies and wisdom of mankind. Chapter 2. Imprisoned in Reflection. In the cruel theater of her silver prison, Lysandra began to understand her existence anew. An undying echo of beauty and grace, she found herself within the shimmering confines of the mirror, trapped and yet oddly free. Time passed, but she remained untouched by its ravages, preserved in her reflective world. As the sun rose and set, the mirror moved from hand to hand, house to house, reflecting endless lives that played out before it. Lysandra watched them all, silent and unseen. A merchant's wife glancing furtively at her aging face, a nobleman preening in his silks, a young maiden shyly appraising herself before her wedding. She saw their triumphs, their insecurities, their vanity. She saw what they were and what they desired to be. Through the ceaseless spectacle, Lysandra became a silent witness to the world, her existence measured not in breaths or heartbeats, but in the echoes of laughter and tears, words of love and wrath, expressions of joy and sorrow. A myriad of human emotions danced across the mirror, each reflection adding to her understanding, each glance a tale of humanity. Trapped within her reflective world, she discovered a paradox. She was isolated, yet surrounded by a kaleidoscope of life, confined, but also intricately connected to the world. It was a curse, a punishment, but within it lay an odd form of liberty, the liberty to observe, to understand, to empathize. Yet with every passing day, the desire for freedom gnawed at her. The need to step out of the mirror, to feel the warmth of the sun, the chill of the wind, to exist beyond the flat plane of her silver world. How she yearned to escape the beautiful prison that kept her trapped in a perpetual dance of reflections. But escape was a mere dream, a chimera shimmering at the edges of her glassy reality. The only way out lay in the hands of those who looked at the mirror. Would they see beyond their own reflections? Could they perceive the captive soul longing for freedom? And so, Lysandra waited, her existence a testament to human vanity and the cruel games of gods. Her hopes rested on the whims and wisdom of the mortal world, their actions an unwitting key to her timeless captivity. Chapter 3. Centuries of Vanity, ****. From the safety of her looking-glass, Lysandra bore witness to the world, seeing it bloom and wither, rise and fall, like the rhythm of an unending symphony. Through countless moons, her enchanted mirror passed through many hands. Generations of kings and queens, dukes and duchesses, barons and baronesses, all drawn to its shimmering beauty and the alluring captive within. From the delicate fingers of the pampered courtesan to the robust hands of the haughty knight, Each beheld themselves in the mirror, engrossed in their vanity. They saw only their reflected selves, captivated by the illusion of unparalleled beauty. Their self-obsession shrouded their perception, blinding them to the captive soul that yearned for freedom. Lysandra watched the nobility preen, the wealthy strut, and the beautiful admire their own reflections. Their vanity was insatiable, an endless thirst for affirmation and admiration. They saw not the maiden trapped in the mirror, but an object that bolstered their self-worth. Yet, through their vanity, Lysandra gleaned an understanding of the human heart. She saw the insecurity veiled behind the nobleman's pride, the fear hidden beneath the courtesan's charm, the loneliness masked by the baroness's pomp. She saw their longing for validation, for love, for acceptance. Their vanity was not simply narcissism. It was a cloak, a defense against the harsh realities of the world. The centuries rolled on, a parade of faces coming and going, lives blooming and fading, like flowers in an endless field. Their stories, their joys, their tragedies unfolded before her, each reflection a poignant vignette of human life. In the ceaseless carnival of vanity, Lysandra remained a captive. Yet she was no longer just an observer. She had become an unwilling participant in the grand theater of life, and within the confines of her reflective world, she clung to a glimmer of hope, a hope that someday someone would look into the mirror and truly see her. Asterisk, asterisk. Chapter 4. The Kindly Pauper asterisk asterisk. In the shifting kaleidoscope of existence, a turn of fate brought the enchanted mirror into the humble dwelling of a pauper. Bereft of material wealth but rich in kindness and compassion, the old man lived a life marked by gentle simplicity. In his quiet solitude, the pauper, unlike the vain nobles and wealthy merchants, did not use the mirror to admire his reflection. Instead, he placed it on the mantel, considering it a beautiful oddity, an element of mystery that added charm to his otherwise mundane life. Lysandra watched as the man lived his quiet existence. The man's days were filled with small joys: the warmth of the morning sun, the song of the nightingale, the rustle of the wind through the autumn leaves. He seemed content, at peace with his solitude, his heart filled with a kindness that was rare in the world Lysandra had witnessed. The pauper would sit by the fire, weaving tales to the silent room, his words spilling into the mirror and reaching Lysandra. She became his unseen audience, her heart touched by his stories of lost love, human resilience, and the simple pleasures of life. Through his tales, Lysandra found a connection, a bond that transcended the glassy barrier of the mirror. In the pauper, Lysandra saw a different side of humanity, a kindness that was not tainted by vanity or greed, a selflessness that was rare in the parade of faces she had witnessed. It was a refreshing change, a beautiful contrast to the vanity that she had seen and grown weary of. In his humble dwelling, the mirror became more than just an object of reflection. It became a testament to human kindness, a symbol of hope. For the first time, Lysandra felt a flicker of hope, a whispering possibility that someone might one day see beyond their reflection and notice the soul that lay captive in the mirror. Chapter 5. The Mirror's Gift. With the passing of seasons, the pauper's humble abode became a sanctuary for Lysandra. His daily routine, the sweet serenity that filled his little home, the stories he shared with her, although he didn't know it, were all tiny threads of solace to her lonely existence. She watched him share his scant meals with stray animals, watched him offer his only blanket to a shivering wanderer, watched him treat every living being with kindness and respect. His actions, filled with selfless love, filled Lysandra with a sense of purpose, and in her heart, a seed of hope began to grow. Could she not, even in her ethereal form, reach out and touch the lives of those who stood before her mirror? Could she not echo the pauper's kindness and compassion, nudging the humans who sought their reflections to see beyond their vanity and glimpse the truth of their souls? Emboldened by this new thought, Lysandra began to change her passive existence. She learned to subtly manipulate the reflections, enhancing the truths hidden beneath the surface, nudging them into the light. The proud lord would see his pride transforming into arrogance, the vain lady her vanity turning into shallowness. It was not without struggle, for vanity is a stubborn mask. Yet as the mirror began revealing not just their external beauty, but their internal realities, people began to change, one reflection at a time. They paused, questioned, and over time, grew. The mirror became more than just a surface for reflection. It became a tool for introspection, a catalyst for change. And in this newfound purpose, Lysandra found a measure of satisfaction, a sense of being alive, of participating in the world. Chapter by chapter, her story echoed through the centuries. A story not of a captive maiden, but of a silent changemaker nudging humanity towards a greater understanding of themselves. Chapter 6. Echoes of War, ****. As inevitably as summer turns to fall, peace ebbed away, and the cruel tide of war washed over the land. The mirror, its reflective surface oblivious to the turmoil, found itself in the hands of a seasoned general, his scarred visage often reflected in its unflinching glass. Lysandra, the timeless captive, became a witness to the grim theater of war. The bloodshed, the agony, the relentless thunder of conflict echoed in the general's eyes each time he looked into the mirror. Behind the hardened soldier, she saw a man tormented by the weight of his duty, a man carrying the burden of lives lost and the anguished cries of those left behind. The general would sit before the mirror, his eyes haunted, his soul heavy with remorse. Lysandra, in her silent world, felt his despair, his longing for peace. Yet, in his reflection, she also saw a glimmer of humanity, a resilience that shone even in the darkest hours. His silent introspection tugged at her heart. She could not change the course of the war, nor could she soothe his torment. But she could mirror back the strength she saw in him, the innate goodness that was clouded by the smoke of battle. And so she did. Each time the general looked into the mirror, he saw not only the war-weary soldier but the man who stood for peace, the man who had the strength to endure, to hope, and to dream of better days. The mirror, once an object of vanity, had become a beacon of resilience, echoing the indomitable spirit of mankind. Through the echoes of war, Lysandra had not only glimpsed the depths of human despair, but also the heights of their courage and determination. Despite the storm of conflict that raged, she saw a glimmer of hope, a testament to the unwavering spirit of humanity.